Hey everyone, welcome back to my fragrance review channel. I guess what I should say is you should be welcoming me back because I've sort of been on a bit of a hiatus for over a month, I guess. I think the last review I did was Nicki Minaj, which was before Christmas. But I'm back now and I'm going to be talking about Taylor Swift's second fragrance, which is called Wonderstruck Enchanted. So we're going to begin with the advertisement, which I have right here. We have Taylor in this really nice red dress. It's sort of like it reminds me of a fairy tale princess kind of dress. It's very flowing, very magical. Seems to be sitting in somewhat of a haunted forest. We can see the wild greens growing in the background, but we also see like window frames as if she's in like a haunted house kind of in the woods. She's sitting on a very odd chair, kind of just, contemplating her current state or problem that she's in this strange woods. Oh, it's actually a couch! I have solved the mystery. This is actually a couch that she has kind of pushed over and is laying slash sitting slash falling into very awkwardly. Right, so she's not actually sitting at all. She is standing up and leaning against this chair couch that she found in the haunted house, in the haunted woods, and she's in a red dress. So now we're going to look at the box. So the box is the same shape and sort of same aesthetic as the original Wonderstruck box, but of course the coloring is different. So we have Taylor Swift Wonderstruck Enchanted written on the front in gold lettering. The whole box has that nice, I think I called it bohemian in the last review, so I'm just going to use that word again. Bohemian style patterning. I love the red and the gold. I think it looks really classy and magical. Back of the box features the advertisement in small form. And the top of the box has number 13 in a little gold emblem. Now it's funny because when I reviewed the original Wonderstruck, I noticed that 13 on the top, and I'm like, oh, I don't really know, what the significance of 13 is. Ugh, I swear, every Swiftie and their mother commented on that video telling me that 13 was her lucky number, and she was born on the 13th, and there was 13 songs in her first album, and 13 this, there was everything to do with 13. Like every day, every single day, there'd be a new, this is why there's 13. So I am now fully aware of the significance of 13. It is Taylor's number one number. So thank you for informing me about that. And I will never forget it. So that's the box. I like the box. I love the ad. I love the bottle, which is right here. It's the same design as the original bottle, but it of course is in a red color. One thing that is different, which I really liked, was the charms. The charms have changed since the last bottle. So in the last episode of Taylor Swift Wonderstruck, this is it here. I sort of made up my own little story about the charms. Briefly, it was about this bird flying towards its dreams, which was, originally I thought this was a sea urchin, but it is in fact a star, breaking free of the cage and losing his inhibitions, etc. So we're going to continue that story here with Wonderstruck. We have the same bird, the Wonderstruck pigeon. He is continuing his journey, but he's ran into a bit of a problem. You see, when he was up reaching his dreams, he realized that that star in fact was a sea urchin, and it kind of punched him in the face, and he's falling back down to earth. So here's one of his feathers, it popped out, so he can't fly anymore. But when he crashed down into the Wonderstruck forest house, he landed on that chair couch, and he found something. He found this beautiful gem, this beautiful Taylor Swift Wonderstruck gem, and it was enchanted, and all around him grew these beautiful flowers that he sniffed, and they smelled like Wonderstruck Enchanted. And this gave him the inspiration to punch that sea urchin back in the face and reach his true potential. Maybe Taylor Swift will write a song about that pigeon one day, and she'll call it We are never, ever, ever gonna mess with a sea urchin. Okay, so enough of that. Now, quickly, let me show you these. The Wonderstruck tester strips, of course. What does this magical fragrance smell like? That's a good question. So, if you watched my review of the original, I described the scent as very whimsical, very magical, like a fairy tale. And now this fragrance has the word enchanted kind of added to the title. So you're gonna think, well, it's probably gonna smell like Wonderstruck, but more enchanted. I mean, that's what I thought. But to be quite honest, I feel as though this really is a fragrance that is not quite as enchanted as the original Wonderstruck. I mean, what I mean by that is that whole like whimsical fairy tale kind of smell I got from Wonderstruck, I feel like it's sort of absent in this fragrance. This one is nice, but I don't like it as much as I liked the original one. Okay, so in the top note of the fragrance, we have passion fruit, wild berries, and pink poppy. So, you know, we have our typical fruity floral opening, where the florals are kind of pushed aside and we're just making way for a fruity explosion. That's pretty much all we have right here. It just kind of smells like generic fruit. Whenever something has wild berries, it just, I feel like that's the industry name for synthetic fruit note. Like wild berries, you know, it's just like fruity, they're wild, they're crazy, we're not going to name them, enjoy. Though I feel like you can smell the passion fruit a little bit. I always feel like passion fruit has like a little bit of a tropical vibe, and I get a very small, quick tropical vibe when you first spray this. But overall, the top note is rather, you know, generic fruit. But you can really smell the heart and base of the fragrance right off the bat. So I'm going to get into the heart of the fragrance right now. Okay, so the heart of the fragrance contains peony blossoms, sugar-glazed champaca petals, something enchanted, no doubt, white freesia. Oh, that's it. That is the heart. The fragrance, once again, the peony is where the poppy is, which is, you know, waiting for a bus somewhere. They're going home. But the sugar-glazed, I mean, I don't know what a champaca flower smells like, but I can definitely smell a sugar-glazed presence here. It smells sugary, it smells sweet. You know, and then we have the fruits of the top kind of mixing with that sugar glaze. So it kind of just smells very gourmandy, but it's still fresh. So, I mean, I assume the florals are just adding a freshness rather than an actual floral aspect. I think that freesia, which is kind of like, you know, best friends with fruity notes. It always seems to be a freesia, you know, in these fruity fragrances. You know, that's there to add that sort of freshness to balance it out a little bit, and at this point it kind of just smells like fruity sweetness, because that's basically what it is. After a few minutes, I feel as though that slight beachiness of the passion fruit is gone. The freshness of the freesia is kind of fading as well, and we're already getting into the heavier notes, which is the base. It has the sandalwood, the musk, and the vanilla. I do like the opening of this fragrance. I wish it would last a little longer. It does quickly get taken over by the vanilla, which, you know, is where we kind of knew this fragrance was going in that direction, but it went through a little bit too quickly for my taste, so we're kind of left with just a fruity vanilla kind of scent, which is great, but that's all we really get for the rest of the fragrance. So it is nice, but as I said, I feel as though this one isn't quite as magical or as whimsical as the original one. I like the original one with like the apple blossoms and the tea. This one just seems a little bit more generic. I feel like it lost some of its creativity. It didn't seem as special as the original. I feel like she really put a lot of time and effort into the notes of the original, whereas this one seemed a little rushed. It kind of seemed like, oh, well, let's make something nice and pleasant and magical, but ironically not enchanted. I think the scent does last quite a while. I mean, there was a lot of the vanilla and the sugar glazed petals in there, so it does have good lasting power, which is, you know, a plus. I say it is a pretty casual scent. You can kind of wear it day or evening. I thought the original was more of a daytime, but this one, because it is a little heavier, I think you can wear it during like the evening, but it still has that fresh fruitiness for the day as well, so it's a little more versatile than the first one. I honestly think it's more fall and winter. Like, I think the vanilla is just too heavy for this to be spring and summer. Especially not summer. I don't really think of this one as a summer scent, despite the fact that there's passion fruit in it. I think it is more of a fall wintry kind of fragrance. Now, it does come with a shower gel and a body lotion, or like the travel sprays and all that, but I didn't get any of that. I just got the 50 milliliter bottle. You can get the 100 milliliter, which is twice the size of this, or you can get the 30 milliliter, or maybe you can't. I haven't actually... Oh, you know what you can get? You can get a 20 milliliter travel spray and like a little... it's like it comes in a cylinder that's shaped... Well, it's not shaped like a box, it's a cylinder, but it has the same design as the box. So just imagine this in cylinder form. 20 milliliters with like 2 extra refills. You can get that. But I just have the bottle. Oh, and I do have one more thing. Okay, so before I got this fragrance a couple months ago, I was looking online to see if there's any free gifts. And I saw this bag, this beautiful bag. It was like white with like the red flowers. It had Wonderstruck Enchanted on it, and it looked really, really nice, and I really wanted it. And then Shoppers Drug Mart, which is the place here that sells this, they have like a weekly ad, and they said, free bag with the purchase of Taylor Swift Wonderstruck Enchanted. But they didn't have a picture of the bag. They just said free bag. So I assumed it was like the bag that I was seeing online. So I went there. And I got this, and I asked for the bag, and they're like, oh, I don't think we have any bags. And I was like, oh, really? I think you do. And the girl was like, okay, well, let me check. And she's like looking and looking. She's opening all the drawers. She cannot find any of these bags. And I had called places beforehand. Like, I called a place, they're like, no, we don't have any bags. Called another place, and they're like, you're crazy, there's no such thing. And then I called this place, and they said, yeah, we have the bag. She can't find it anywhere. So then she calls the other, like, beautician or whatever that was working in the cosmetics department. She's like, oh, help me find this Taylor Swift bag. So they're both looking for it. They're opening up all the drawers. I'm like helping them. I'm now like going through their drawers. We're all looking for this bag. I practically got the entire staff hunting down this Taylor Swift bag because I was determined to get it. After about 10 minutes of searching, and they were like offering me other things like, oh, take this. I'm like, no. I need this bag. And then finally, from like across the department, one of the girls, this like teenage girl, is like on the floor. She holds up the bag and she's like, Taylor! And we all go running towards her. Oh my god, fragrance shopping with me is a fun event. You have to try it sometime. Okay, but there is... You see, this story is a little bittersweet because yes, she found the one and only Taylor Swift bag that remained in that building. But it wasn't the bag I was looking for. In fact, it wasn't even an enchanted bag. It was one of the bags from the original fragrance. Now, I already have one of those bags, but this was a different style of it. So I'm like, well, I'll take it. I mean, I might as well, right? So anyways, this is the bag that I got. This is from the original Taylor Swift Taylor Swift Wonderstruck collection. So it's a purple bag. It has like that bohemian kind of like bottom part to it. And then the pattern in the front is, it's like woven, like it's a very soft pattern. And it has little checks in it, white ones and sort of grayish ones. And the handles are the same purple kind of rubber part. And it has a zipper. And it opens like all the way. Like this whole thing opens. Yeah, so it opens up like that, and then inside is just like pure purple. Okay, so it had a little tag on it. So as you can see, it's like the original advertisement. Now, if you recall, when I reviewed this one, I had a bag, and it said on the tag, hobo bag. Like number 13, I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, hobo bag? What is this talking about? And then again, every person on the planet who watched the video was like, oh, hobo is a style of bag, it's like blah blah blah. So I learned a lot from that video. I learned about number 13, I learned about hobo bags. So now we have this bag, and I'm going to read what it is called. What is this called? This is called a weekender bag. This is a weekender bag. So I'll give you my interpretation of that. I think this bag is meant for weekends. I mean, I guess what they mean is if you're going away for the weekend, you know, you can put everything in here. Because it is rather big. It opens up wide. It has like a big base. Yeah, you can fit like 2 nights worth of stuff in there. And plus your Taylor Swift fragrance. So this is a weekender bag. It is for the weekend people who live their life on the weekends. And it is not for hobos. Okay. I guess that's everything. That seemed like a very strange video. That's all I have to say about Wonderstruck Enchanted, the less enchanted version of the original Wonderstruck. So a quick summary of the fragrance. It begins on a magical note of passion fruit, wild berries, and pink poppy, but it smells more just like generic wild berry mush, and not too much of a particular blend. The heart of the fragrance has the sugar-coated champaca petals, I think they were called, with some freesia. The sugar-coated champaca is really adding a sweetness to the fragrance that's mixing well with the berries. And then we get to the base of the fragrance, which is the vanilla, which is the dominating note, with the sandalwood and the musk. It ends up smelling like kind of your generic fruity, floral, vanilla berry scent. It's not quite as creative as the original, but it does last longer, and you know, if you like fruity sweetness, then you will like this one. Okay, so that's the end of my review. I do prefer the original to this one, but I do like having this one. I love the whole like ad campaign in the box and everything. It was very nice, and that's all I have to say on that. Okay guys, hope you enjoyed that review. And I'm gonna make... the next review will be before another month, I promise you. I have a few I need to do, like Midnight Heat, and... oh, you know what I just got? Paris Hilton Dazzle, and Jessica Simpson Vintage Bloom. So, there's plenty to do. So I will see you guys soon.